Get ready, get set for the best movie and pop culture talk in the universe. It's The Good Brothers on Mercado Airwaves with your hosts, Alex Mercado and Mike Mercado.
Welcome back to another episode of The Good Brothers. I'm Alex, that's Mike. Alex, Mike, we are The Good Brothers, and we're here to tell you Hakuna Matata. It means no worries. It also means we have a bunch of stories, Mike. Tell the people.
Yes, it is a wonderful phrase, and we got a lot of things to hit on. We have the Addams Family with a new teaser trailer.
Da-da-da-da.
Da-da-da-da. The Lion King with also a full-length trailer. We actually get to see the voiceover work, all the characters, some pretty awesome stuff. Hellboy comes out to not good reviews. Monsters, Inc. is coming to Disney Plus along with Hawkeye. We have a Wrestlemania review. Star Wars celebrations in our hometown.
Chicago.
Dirk and Wade are both giving their final salutes and bow in the NBA. Two players prominent in our sports lives that are the Good Brothers. That and whatever else we come up to. Oh, yeah, that's right. We promised it. It is our Game of Thrones special that will be at the back end of this. Now, it was a very busy week, Alex, so we were going to say it was going to just be this extravaganza of Game of Thrones. But I think what we're going to do in this episode is take care of all the headline news. And then I want to go more personal with Game of Thrones, just between you and I.
And then when the episodes come out, we can really go nose deep into it.
So why don't we go ahead and thank you guys, as always, for supporting us here at Mercado Airwaves. He's on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. I'm at Mercado2333. Follow the network at Mercado Airwaves and the podcast itself at Good Brothers Pod. But Good Brother, why don't we go ahead and get started with the Addams Family? Why don't we go with that one first? A little fun animation, and I actually really enjoyed the teaser we got. Oscar Isaac, Charlize Theron,
Chloe Moretz, Wolf, what's his name from Stranger Things? Alex Wolf, or
is he one of the little kids?
He's a little fat one.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. Everybody knows who you're talking about. Sure.
Nick Kroll, obviously. Yeah, no, great voice cast. Surprisingly, we're big Addams Family people here. I love the movies. The show was fun. All the memes are great, and yeah, it's always fun. Like, it's just a fun, quirky thing, and I'm so happy they went animated.
Yeah,
and I think everyone is, because everyone's like, you could do a live action.
You could.
But why don't you just go animated where you can have a lot more fun? You stacked it up with great voice actors, and we're going to appreciate even more. You can make them goofy looking. It's not like, I feel like the live action movies were fantastic. I don't think those would hit nowadays to a mainstream audience.
Well, it's the absurdity, too, that you can, like, have dismemberment and explosions and, like, body dysmorphia in this movie comparative to...
People can't really die. Yeah. You don't have to make... Yeah. There's no making sense of it.
And as long as you kind of take what... let's say Into the Spider-Verse did, where like you don't have to drastically with the animation, but as long as you have love for its source material, it'll show. And that's what I think a lot of these success isn't by knowing an IP or knowing the brand, it's by having love for it. This is what I always say. So for all you fans who are video game fans, Resident Evil 2 Remake came out. And this is why things like this are so successful. Because it's not making a complete remake of it in the sense of beat by beat. It's how you remember it. It's the best parts of it, remember it. So what do you remember about the Addams Family? That the family loves each other, but they're quirky. And like that they're always just kind of getting those stupid things.
Like she cuts the head of the roses off and keeps the stems.
Exactly. So you got to think like, okay, that's the spirit of it. But if you actually rewatch a lot of it now, it kind of drags and it doesn't really place well. But in our minds, we remember it in certain things. That's what this trailer was to me. It was, okay, yeah, no, this is how the Addams Family were. They were always just kind of hurting each other and
stupid things.
But they really weren't. But that's how we remember them.
That's how they show love. And I'm looking for three things. I want a Grinch mixed with Hotel Transylvania 1 mixed with Spider-Verse. Okay. Where I need you to add to the lore. I don't need you to change the wheel because monsters are fun. But I want you to do something creative with the animation, which I think they did the way they outlined the men and the women, where the men are a little stockier and chubby and the women are a little taller and
leaner. Yeah,
I like that. I appreciate that. It's funny. It's already funny. You're already looking like Oscar Isaac's a little fat guy.
Yeah,
that's
I
kind
love
of fun.
Oscar
That's
Isaac.
fun.
I love the meme they're putting it to. It's like, we got Oscar Isaac playing Gomez, and this is how he looks. Like, God damn it.
It's funny. Like, it's hilarious. I love it. I can't wait. I'm very excited.
Passing grade for us here on The Good Brothers, but we'll definitely be excited when The Addams Family comes out in theaters. But Good Brother, we also got another huge trailer that came out. He's been singing it since he came in. I've had Hakuna Matata stuck in my head all single day. It is the Lion King trailer that finally came out, and it is funny how
hype people are really.
But this is the thing that I keep talking about. Okay, let's out of the way. The trailer was awesome. It was amazing.
It was fantastic. Like it's everything we wanted.
So this is the conversation I want to have about it, though. It was the difference why I'm going to be so much more excited for Aladdin than I am for this one. It's the same reason I was much more excited for something like God of War than I was for Red Dead Redemption. They have much more things to risk in Aladdin than they do at Lion King. This is literally just a remake. Almost, it looks like beat for beat of what was a great movie. Now, I'm going to give credit to Jon Favreau because he's going to have his own spin to it. They're going to do their own twist to it.
They're like adding stuff, taking away, changing. Of course.
But the thing is, though, it's like the template's there. What Aladdin has to go through is completely different. It has to bring these live-action characters' spirit from this cartoon alive, opposed to what we saw in this animation. It's like Donald Glover is gonna rock what Jonathan Taylor Thomas did, and what it's just to me
it's got Beyonce, dude.
Yeah,
Seth Rogen.
Yeah, like it's just to me it's like it's different type of pressure. Like, and people are already hating on Aladdin much more than they are Lion King.
But it's funny. I'm gonna ask you this: would you rather? So you have two choices. Would you rather every single Disney movie just be remade beat for beat? Because look, guess what? It doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't. Or would you rather them kind of separate the categories of like, these are classic Disney, I don't want you touching. Dumbo, you go ahead and touch. Jungle Book, you can change. It's funny the list, like Jungle Book, you're like, you probably changed that a little bit. You didn't. But Aladdin, which is on that list with Lion King as probably the top 2 Disney movies of all time when you ask people.
Yeah.
Without princesses, obviously.
Yeah.
You start to think, man, should Aladdin have just gone for a straight beat for beat or maybe a little more similar, but we haven't seen the movie.
See, I'd rather have somebody take a risk and make their adaptation of it. If it's based off that cartoon, like, because you can tell Aladdin's based off the Aladdin cartoon. It's not based off of the 40 Thieves or anything like that. It's based off of Disney's version of Aladdin. So you can get that feel from it. But it's not just a beat for it. They do have to do different set pieces and different ways of designing the characters, opposed to the Lion King, which is just making CGI lions, making CGI animals. So it's like there is a different type of pressure at that. Some people aren't going to like the way Jafar looks, but everybody's going to like the way Mufasa looks or Scar looks because they're just lions. And obviously you can't have a burnt orange brown lion like Scar was in the cartoon, but you're going to be able to see it and enjoy that looks like a lion, how Scar would look like in real life. Yeah. So I just think people are excited for different reasons, but I think after this trailer come out, the shit that Aladdin got for it makes no sense comparative to Lion King.
What was your favorite part of the trailer?
From Lion King? Yeah. It's one of my favorite parts in the whole movie is when he steps in his dad's paw.
Really?
Paw print, yeah.
See, I'm going to go more as the I guess just the immature kid. When I saw Timon and Pumbaa, when I saw them, dude, I was like, I love the whole trailer. Yeah. But that's the part that I was like, vindication.
Yeah, that's like the most heartfelt, like the smiliest moment.
When you see them walking in the shadow.
But the best moment to me in the entire Lion King movie is when he's following Mufasa and he realizes, like, I have to fill his boots.
And I did with James Earl Jones. Like, when he starts talking, I'm like,
but even before that, like, just the metaphor of, like, it even struck me as a child when I saw baby Simba and put his little paw on Mufasa's paw print. And he just sees how tiny he is after his dad just had to save his butt. And you realize, like, even at that young of an age, I put it together. It's like, oh, you're trying to fill your father's footsteps, and you never think you will. And then now watching it now,
and you still might not, but that's not. He doesn't want you to. Be your own man.
And now I almost look at it now as more of a like, man, I can't believe I was that small. I can't believe I was that tiny of a thing comparative to what I thought was this massive.
Well, you're also at the age now where, like, we're both at the age now where you're not necessarily Simba anymore as a child. You're more Simba, a grown man, and Mufasa.
Yeah.
Where you're teaching the new generation. You're gonna raise kids one day. Now you want them to be safe, and I can't wait for Rafiki. Rafiki's my favorite Disney character. Yeah. I cannot wait for him to start talking. He's alive.
Yeah, I love.
Like, I can't wait.
Yeah,
like,
when he puts
the scenes are great. Like, they pick the Can You Feel the Love Tonight scene, the bridge scene, the antelopes. Like, they pick such good scenes where you're like, they knew what they were doing, and guess what? You fucking nailed it.
Yeah, you nailed it. But nailed it. So passing grade?
Oh, I feel bad because we talk how highly like Aladdin. Mm-hmm. I'm so much more excited for this movie.
I'm excited for both.
I can't wait. But, like, this is on, like, endgame level of, like, I can't wait.
Yeah, I don't need to see any more, though. I'm sold.
Well, I mean, we know what it is. Like, like, you can show me more clips if you want. Like, you can show me a couple more characters talking. You know what I do want to see? I would like to hear Beyonce as the lion. Because she hasn't acted in a while, so I would like to hear her voice.
But they've hit Donald Glover and Seth Rogen.
I would like to hear them.
They've hit other than James Earl Jones.
Like
and
who do we got? We got Seth Rogen. Whoever's playing Timon, I keep forgetting Timon. It's the comedian John
Oliver. Yeah.
John Oliver. Well, I should know that. John Oliver. We got Edgeford. We got James Earl. We got like 4 good characters. I would like to hear everyone at one point just to like not be sudden. Like when you heard Bill Murray as Baloo. Man, they cast so well in these movies. They do cast well. They cast so well in these Disney movies. Oh, I love it.
All right, good brother. Disney also is giving us some other pretty interesting stuff. We did find out that both Monsters, Inc. and Hawkeye are both coming to Disney+. It seems like Hawkeye is coming way sooner than a lot of us thought it was going to.
Apparently, they're going to... So, Jeremy Renner signed on, and it's going to be apparently him passing on the mantle of Hawkeye. And apparently, we might see his daughter in Avengers Endgame. Okay. And Monsters, Inc. is going to be called Monsters at Work. Yep. And I don't know, they haven't really got too much. They got John Goodman, Billy Crystal. Mm-hmm. And I think, I'll be honest, I think we're getting a little more adult. Not adult, but I think more for something of our age of like Monsters at Work. Kind of like how the Muppets tried doing it, where it is appropriate for children, but the jokes are really more toward like the on-office style humor, where it's like, it's not inappropriate, but it's definitely adult humor, and I would love that.
Well, it being on Disney+.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think this is going to be one of those shows where like some people are like, well, is that... People are excited. Yeah. But I think people are questioning, was it going to be a kid's show or is it going to be more for us because it's Monsters at Work? I think there's a good mix. I think Pixar is for everyone.
Yeah, it's with the Pixar special. It's going to be a little bit of both. The jokes are going to go for kids and for adults.
Like, it's going to be work jokes, like that only you'll understand, and obviously gag humor with Mike Wazowski.
And it's Billy Crystal and John Goodman. They're not going to just sign on for
voices are funny enough.
No, but they're not going to just sign on because they're like, well, okay. Like
it's not the Lion Guard where none of the voice actors signed on at Disney. You know,
it's like this,
They're gonna take it very seriously.
Yeah, this isn't the spinoff of Cuckoo's the Emperor's New Groove when it didn't get David Spade.
Goes to high school or whatever.
This isn't that. So definitely we're excited for both of them, and it does look like I guess we know that Hawkeye is coming out of Avengers Endgame.
Yeah, I figured he would because he's not a big enough depth to really matter. But I feel, and I hate to say that, but at this point, I love Jeremy Renner. Motherfucker, you have not been enough movies for me to care if you die right now.
No, they jumped that shark. If you were going to kill Hawkeye, it had to be like 2 movies ago. Yeah,
like you should have left Quicksilver. So I'm like at this point, if Robert Downey Jr. and Cap don't die, I don't care.
Well, it was Ultron was when we were supposed to lose Hawkeye, and we never did. Yeah. So moving on that, but yeah, so we'll definitely keep our eye on Monsters at Work and see what happens with this whole Disney thing with Hawkeye.
Apparently, rumor is September is when it'll be released, and Mike. I think the studio should really cover our costs. So, Mike, I'm going to send you the bill, and you will cover my cost for Disney Plus because I must have it.
I agree, and
I refuse to give up anything else.
And you know what? Speaking of giving everything else, we do also want to mention because it is Disney right now in our backyard. It will be Star Wars Celebration, and we do know we are going to get a trailer of the new Star Wars Episode 9 title. We know we're going to see the new Jedi Fallen Order, the video game. We're going to get a lot of
we got a little snippet of that, some
books. So we don't want to spend too much time on it. Star Wars Celebration.
We will we'll probably talk about next week.
Next week we'll talk about it with a full review of Game of Thrones, and we'll get into that just a little bit. But really fast, what do you let me ask you this. The reaction after April 12th. Positive or negative for the trailer?
I think here's a fun thing. I think it's positive, but I think like Christian Harloff from Mr. Star Wars himself says is like it depends if you like The Last Jedi. Okay. Because personally, I think Last Jedi is a masterpiece. I think it's one of the best Star Wars films we've ever done.
It's okay.
And Mike, you're okay. So here's how I think it's worked. Because I think J.J. Abrams has announced like he's basically forgetting Part 8 and he's kind of more going from 7 to 9 in a way. He's gonna retcon a lot of things. I think you'll love it. I think I'll love it. But I'm going to be upset. Like I'm like, man, I wish they would have gone more 8 style. But I'm cool because I do love Force Awakens. I really do. Again, another top 5 Star Wars movies for me. But I'm a fan. I don't hate any Star Wars movie. I love Star Wars universe, lightsabers. Like I'm a kid when Star Wars comes on. And not even with superhero movies as much. Like Star Wars is that one that brings me back to my childhood of like, I'm a little boy watching the VHSs, renting the DVDs from Blockbuster at Phantom Menace. Like I love Star Wars. Like, it's my childhood, so I never hate any. But I think like it's one of the, if you like The Last Jedi, you're gonna be like, man, I wish they would go more into it, but it's fine, I'll live. And I think if it's you're gonna be right back on board of like, oh, there we go, okay, we're back. And I think it's fan service, but a good fan service. That's needed.
I really enjoyed Episode 8. I just thought it was right in the middle of the pack. I thought Force Awakens was a top 5 movie, but I don't think it's better than the at least the first 2 Star Wars. So
but we're also different. Like my favorite, I like Return of the Jedi better than
and I
Empire
think
Strikes
Empire
Back.
is like head and shoulders better than that one. So I mean, I think it's all valid, but I agree with you. I think people are gonna. I think generally people are gonna.
It brings the fandom back together.
But we'll hope and we'll keep our eye on definitely what's happening
us.
here in downtown Chicago with Star Wars Celebration and everything that is Disney Plus. Good brother. The next kind of news is a little bit of a bummer, and it has to do with Hellboy. And David Harbour, who's from Stranger Things, one of my favorite series, just like a lot of people, he's one of my favorite parts of the series, and he looked good in the trailers. Yeah. There was a reason why they were hiding the trailers for a long time. We didn't get him for almost 3 months in. It got stone cold quiet, and the reviews aren't all that great.
9% opening up. I'm hearing, embargo hasn't lifted, but what you're hearing right now is from the insiders is the comedy doesn't hit. It's funny for all the wrong reasons. It's goofy. It's unnecessary. And I'm not one to say it's unnecessary. I'm a big Ron Perlman fan. I thought Guillermo del Toro and Ron Perlman have 2 fantastic Hellboy movies. Yeah. But I wanted this to succeed. I really wanted to hear good things and us go see it. Yeah. It's one of those things now you're like, well, maybe I'll stay home and watch Game of Thrones instead or rewatch more episodes of Game of Thrones instead. But, like, that's not good, man. Like, even, like, a movie like Dumbo, which is Judge Lowe, got like a 50, 54, a 9%. That's like Fantastic Four bad. Like that's like this movie's terrible. Don't watch it. Not this movie's okay. You might like it, you might not. Like go judge for yourself. This is people saying, save your money.
Well, I'll definitely check it out. And the one thing I want to just see is, as of right now, I'm not going to say it, but if it becomes one of these things where it's the risk and reward of just giving Guillermo del Toro the money and hoping that after he won the Oscar for Shape of Water, that you'd be able to make some type of
Hellboy 3, maybe you would have made some money.
You know, they decided that's not what they wanted to do.
I feel bad for David Harbour because I think this is really going to affect his – because he already needed this. Like, he really needed this to be a hit, I think, at least critically, that they're like, I like him. And if it comes out saying, well, you're not Ron Perlman, you're like – man, dude, like you're gonna get.
But people like him though. Maybe not.
But that's what I'm saying. But like, I feel like he needed that. Liking him got him this. I feel like this needed to carry him a little bit, and I feel like it's not, and I feel bad because I don't know. I don't watch Stranger Things, so I don't really have a relationship with this actor where I love him or don't love him. But if this is the first thing as like as just a movie person, I'm looking at it, I'm like, it's not a good start, man.
No, I'm not. But I mean, this is a guy who's been a working actor for a long time, so he's been around, and he hit his stride with Stranger Things. So we'll see in Stranger Things season 3 looks like it's going to be phenomenal.
Looks fantastic.
So, so but sad to hear about Hellboy, but we'll have our thoughts whether we go see it in theaters or not. We'll keep our ear. Maybe it has a turnaround. Maybe it makes some money, but other than that, just not.
Shazam's
not
gonna
the best.
Shazam's probably going to win a few weeks in a row before
it all wraps up.
Yeah, for Endgame.
Alex, speaking of an Endgame, we also had the Endgame for 2 of the greatest players to ever play in the NBA, especially in this era, and Dirk Nowitzki and Dwayne Wade, who both finally played their last games. Won't spend too much time with it. We'll talk about it on Sports from the Couch. Obviously, the crazy news that was Magic Johnson stepping down as president from the Lakers out of nowhere. But really fast, just your general thoughts on Dirk and D. Wade.
I only told you to bring it up because obviously we have a sports show and Mike does a great job of details. But, you know, Dwayne Wade and Dirk are so important because me and Mike can sit here and be Jordan. Realistically, Mike was 7, I was 5 by the end of the run. Mike was old enough to understand it.
I was 9 years old when the
9. Sorry, you were 9. I was 7.
Yeah.
So you were old enough. Yeah. But that's only a third of your life. 2/3 of your life. These 2 players were a huge part of that. And
Kobe.
like these men, like Allen Iverson, Dwayne Wade, Carmelo Anthony, like that draft class, like it's sad, especially Dwayne Wade, who's a hometown boy, where you're like, man, I like Dwayne. I've been watching Dwayne Wade forever. I've been watching Dirk forever, and these are, you know, 2 of the greatest players to ever play the game. Obviously, they ain't making no top 10 list. That's fine. That's not the point of this. We're talking about it right now. We're just talking about, like, as players, as figures, like, they were a big part of us growing up and, like, the prime of our basketball watching. And really, when you start doing it on your own, and, you know, Dwayne Wade is one of my favorite players. And, he did it with such, I want to say class, or he did it with such a personality.
Sure.
Same with Dirk, where, like, they're so memorable. And was it Budweiser?
Did
a
really
great
good
commercial and, got you to tears. And, it just felt weird not us doing a podcast about pop culture, not talking about 2 guys that really revolutionized basketball for our generation.
Absolutely. And Dirk Nowitzki, who just played his last game in San Antonio, they did a really great video, and you could see him crying, and you can see that all over social media. But it's the importance of these two players, what they did on the court. You have one player who really was the Euro step and the opening for a lot of European players who now we're seeing, hell, if you're a Chicago Bulls fan, will already mark it in. You know, it's definitely one of these things. And then with Dwayne Wade, he was one of the first guards who was a slasher who attacked the rim and would put his body in the line, and then eventually saw it with Russell Westbrook, Derrick Rose, and Ben Simmons. And these guys have really been the precursor of what the NBA has become now. And what's amazing is you look at somebody like Luka Doncic, who is playing right now for the Dallas Mavericks, was their 6th or 7th pick right next to Trae Young for Atlanta. And, you know, this is a European player. He's 18, 19 years old. He grew up watching Dirk. That's their guy. And it's just their impact in the game can never be understated. And we're talking about a generation of guys like Steve Nash, Jason Kidd, Allen Iverson, Vince Carter. You have Dwayne Wade, now, Carmelo Anthony, LeBron James. And LeBron James was the young one in that group. Yeah. And, I mean, Chris Bosh is gone now. Yeah. Like, these guys are
it's crazy because, like, and I think that's what it is. Like, I think the older we get, you relate to that. You're like, it must be hard doing something for 20 years, your whole life, and then being like, I'm done. Like, I'm done.
I mean, it's pretty crazy that I remember Derrick Rose was about 2 years older than me, and now being 28 myself and seeing where he's at, just kind of like how fast it does come. Especially once you're no longer a kid or a high schooler, once you become an adult and time really starts moving forward, you have more to appreciate because you realize how fast
it is. I
feel like
Anthony Davis just got in the league.
He's already a veteran. He's a
super
veteran. He's a super veteran.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
But yeah, so shout out to Dirk Nowitzki, Dwayne Wade, two great reps of the NBA. Man. And
Hall of Famers.
Yeah, Hall of Famers, definitely. All right, good brother. That is not the only thing that happened Hall of Fame wise this past week, because we got to see not the coronation. I would say more
cementing Becky Lynch.
Not just Becky Lynch, but also Kofi Kingston. I think without a shadow of a doubt, we just saw the definition of Kofi Kingston, first ballot Hall of Famer. Yeah, no question about it.
Which he would have been anyway.
And absolutely.
Now he's a legend.
This is like, you can't even like second guess it. He's a headline.
He used to be on the same level as like a Zack Ryder, where you're like, he won a lot of belts, he deserves it. Now it's like, he's a legend.
He's a headline. He's even though like people, you got to understand, we're not talking about Booker T, we're not talking about The Rock, we get all that. We are considering Kofi Kingston the first African-born WWE World Heavyweight Champion.
He has the belt that has the record.
The record for it. The Rock is half Samoan, half black. He's black. He gets that credit for it. But the first full-blooded born.
And I love Becky Lynch.
She was great, by the way. Like, shout out to the women because they had.
I didn't love the match. I thought it was very sloppy at the end. I think WrestleMania is too long in the first run. I thought overall it was fine. I think Triple H Batista went long, but like
it was way too long.
But I'll be honest, like it's Kofi. It was Kofi's night.
It was Kofi's night.
Like the reactions are Kofi. Like everyone's going like. That meant a lot, and it's amazing to people. And I think Jay Washington said it best, another Chicago podcaster, where like if you don't know, you just don't know.
Yeah,
like you just don't get it sometimes. Like how important this stuff is to a different generation. Even we're not African American, we're Latinos, but it's important to us to even see any sort of representation of minority or color.
Alex, what was the last time you saw a Hispanic with a last name who wasn't a heel World Heavyweight Champion?
Rey Mysterio.
World Heavyweight Champion.
Literally, yeah. Rey Mysterio, like what, 10 years ago?
Maybe, Alberto Del Rio, who was a heel.
Oh, Alberto Del Rio, yeah, but he was a heel.
Aristocrat.
As a face, you're like Rey Mysterio.
Rey Mysterio.
Eddie Guerrero, like
years.
Then those were so important. And I get, like, obviously, you have guys now who we love, like Andrade and stuff, but, like, it's important. And if you don't think it's important, I feel you're lucky. You're a lucky person to have grown up just seeing everything the way you wanted to see
Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold.
Like with Jordan Peele comments, it's like, you good for you.
Yeah.
But, like, this is important. You're seeing grown men cry for a reason. You're seeing wrestlers cry for a reason. Men like MVP and Farouk. Because it's important. Yeah. It means something as an athlete to this generation saying, I can do that. Like, there's an opening for me. Like, my type of people are being represented. It's not, and like I deserve it. I've earned it. Like, and he's the best person. He's got no record, not a negative thing to say about him. Everyone loves him. Like, it's the ultimate person. You're like, this man is the ultimate person to represent you, and he's good. That's what helps. It's not like a Titus O'Neil where you're like, he's a great person, just an okay wrestler, whatever. You're like, this is a fantastic wrestler and an even better person. Like, you can't go wrong. And the fact that they pulled the trigger, because they easily couldn't have. This could have been a thing. And I like how they're doing it with Ali now, too. And, we're starting to even get representation there now, because I know, people of that culture need that representation more than ever now, too. It's a good sign. You're like, I'm happy. You're like, I'm happy watching this because these guys deserve this. This is big. Like, this is wrestling history we're watching. Women are main eventing. Like, this is all important, people. Yep. Like, and if you don't see the importance to the 6th most watched thing of the year having this representation, you're just the mark then. I don't know what to say.
And you know what? And I give credit. It's Seth Rollins should say, I want to main event next year. He should be saying that. Oh, yeah. He should be striding for it. But you don't hear him saying they shouldn't be.
Oh no, and he also got hyped to open the show, and that was a great and good for them.
That was a great
getting a spot. And as a wrestling fan, I'm glad they got Brock out of there for now.
Yeah,
because I'm a Brock UFC fan, not a WWE fan.
I even like Brock in WWE.
He's fine, but like I like Seth Rollins because he's more of a Midwestern boy.
Sure. Yeah, Chicago Bears fan.
And I like that. I like that he opened at least, and I love the point. If we're not going to close, we'll at least open. And I'm like. That's dope.
Yeah,
that's dope.
Totally. So let's go ahead and grade it. I mean, it was an important.
My predictions were almost perfect.
You had a great prediction show. So why don't we go ahead and grade it out of 10? I give, first of all, because we're going to do the whole weekend. We got to talk about Bret Hart really fast. Hate that dude. Shout out to the locker room.
That guy's crazy. Some wannabe MMA fighter. He got jacked up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Shout out to the boys for taking care of business. All right. So NXT Takeover New York. Out of 10, what do you give it?
7.
NXT Takeover New York. You give it a 7?
7.5.
Oh, I give it the standard 8, and then you decide whether or not it gets the extra 2 points.
I guess it was just really
NXT Takeover.
Besides the main events, the wrestling matches are good, but it's like at this point, like it's just so much to live up. It's so much to live up to.
Well, I thought it was all great.
It was great. No, it was great. Like I'm saying, 7.5 is very solid for NXT. Like. I'm not downgrading. I guess, yeah.
Man, it's a little bit of a downgrade. But I go ahead and I give it the minimum. NXT TakeOver 8. WrestleMania 35. What do you give it out of 10?
8.
You give WrestleMania a higher grade than NXT
WrestleMania where the woman main event and Kofi Kingston was championship, and they took the title off Brock in the main event. Beside the fact that it's 7 hours, which we're never not going to get. I take that argument out the window because it's 7 hours. It's always going to be that.
But it's part of it, though.
But I still take that out of the thing. Regardless, it's once a year I watch that much wrestling. I really did enjoy the show.
You watch that much wrestling during SummerSlam, Survivor Series, and Royal Rumble. It's all that long.
No, I don't watch the pre-show for that, though. Yeah. I skip the pre-shows on those main events. Speaking of that, Survivor Series coming to Chicago.
Yeah.
You want to go? You want to go?
We'll go. So,
I go ahead and give it 8. But like I said, it's not fair because one had a better card, one was history making. So you got to go with history by 0.5.
I give it an 8. I give both 8s.
Okay. I respect your opinion. Well, that's right.
The 3 biggest stories outweigh it, and there was a lot of solid matches, but I just take away too many points for it being so long. But here's the argument. The argument is, then you make people upset when you cut people.
Yeah.
So you can't have it both
ways.
ways.
Like if Finn Balor wasn't on the card,
could you imagine?
I'd been pissed. Had Samoa Joe not done this cool thing, you've been pissed.
So I'm not gonna.
Yeah, like I said, I take that out of the argument, and if I put that in the argument, yeah, it's like a freaking 6, a 5. But like history, you got to go with history, and history was
absolutely.
Important.
But I guess passing grade, and as always,
passing grade. I would watch both. Obviously, like they were. I don't regret watching either.
So our final plug for it, we could finally put it away, and people could check it out 4, 5, 6, 7 years from now.
Lacey Evans takes the belts.
Check out the interview with Becky Lynch. I mean, it really is. It's finally over, Alex. My WrestleMania moment has come and gone. The network's WrestleMania moment has come and gone. Becky Lynch has won it. She's Becky 2 belts. She joined the network. Check it out, and we can go ahead and end this year's WrestleMania on a championships note, good brother. It ends with a championship note and leads to an Iron Throne. It is time. The final season of one of the greatest shows of all time. HBO's Game of Thrones returns this Sunday. So why don't we go ahead, and I wanted to do it this way. I want to tell a little story. I'm going to ask you what got you into Game of Thrones, but I want to say what got me into Game of Thrones.
Yeah, we can do that. No, that's cool. That's a good way to start.
So the first thing is how I got introduced to Game of Thrones. I was really into this young lady.
I've heard the story. Go ahead. Tell the people.
And she was diehard into Game of Thrones. So your boy here thought that he could get a little schmoozhy points had he got really into the show. My plan, though, was to just watch enough to learn the names and kind of get the plot and, I wouldn't have to know
be a bad person,
be
and
a
fake it.
horrible person and fake it, and then
young Mike was not.
Yes,
was not fun.
Well, 2 seasons later, in 2 days, I didn't realize that it was that great of a show.
Like, what girl? What?
And I didn't text her actually back for a few days. Well, long story short, nothing ever happened with the girl, and Game of Thrones took over my life for the next 2.5 weeks, as all I did was binge watch every single episode that I had. And it was one of those moments that I didn't realize everybody was, because this was the summer of Watch the Throne, of Jay-Z and Kanye West. Yeah. So I thought everybody was talking about that when they were talking about Game of Thrones. So I'm like, I didn't realize people were so into this damn album. Like, the album is cool, but like,
it's high.
And then I realized what it really was. So it was just this whole circumstance. I had no idea what this show was. I never really watched HBO.
I mean, it did take. It took years to hit its all. Like, it's not that it wasn't always good, but to hit the stride of the greatest show on history, which I think it's up there next to Breaking Bad and The Wire, where it's like that took a few seasons. Where it's like now it's just it is what it is,
right? And I just it's just funny to me that I end up getting hooked on the greatest show maybe of all time because I wanted to get a little booty, and I end up just getting hooked on with the show. But my story was a conquest that I did not succeed in. How about you, good brother?
So I was in college, and I don't remember when the season even came out because it was so low key at first because HBO had been in its prime years before.
The Sopranos,
AMC had kind of taken over.
Breaking Bad and Walking Dead.
Walking Dead, like they were taking over.
Bad Man, yeah.
And so what happened is after Daytona, which is the cheerleading championship, we had won, and things slow down then. Like after your like athletes are done, you got one more semester, you got one more month, so you have a lot of free time. So me and my roommates, it was me and 4 guys, and we're total bros. We're just watching TV, and we made a deal. We started Sons of Anarchy. And I told them, I was like, oh, let's watch Sons of Anarchy. Like, it's good, I promise. They're like, fine, but you got to watch at least one episode of Game of Thrones. And I was the same thing. I'm like, that looks stupid.
Yeah,
that looks like dragons and swords. That's so lame. Yeah. And Mike, when I saw that, I'm like you. When I saw that first episode, all hail the Khaleesi, all hail Jon Snow for the North. Like, I was hooked. And I just saw the first episode again last night because Brittany's getting into it now. And she just got my HBO password now. And I saw the first episode. I'm like, man, look how young these children, look how young they were. I was like, oh, you're so innocent. And I loved it. I loved that. I was hooked. I binged it all. I got HBO Go just for that.
No spoilers. Ned Stark's episode is when? Is it the first episode?
Yeah.
The Ned Stark episode is the first episode?
Dude,
I can't believe that's how they get us into the first episode.
Dude, no,
that is insane.
Like, when you, like, and she was like, she's like, I like this. I'm extremely confused. She's like, but I like this. And I'm like, here's the thing. By the time you get to where I am, you're not confused. You understand everything, and everything plays off. That's what's great about it.
Okay.
And I'm like, I get you're confused, and I get there's a lot being thrown at you, and you have no idea what's going to happen, but I'm like, it will be worth it. And she's hooked now, and like, because you don't need to understand it first. You're like, I don't know why I like this, but I love it.
You should check out Jamel Hill's. Besides all her political stuff, Jamel Hill was having something great. She started watching Game of Thrones just this year to catch up to the series finale. And she hated the first 4 episodes. She's like, guys, I just don't get it. What are you guys watching? And everybody kept saying, keep watching.
Yeah.
And literally 4 hours later, she wrote a tweet out saying, I get it.
Because the pieces, like, they do such a good job, Benny S. and Wise, of just like, again, I'm like, you won't get it now. I get it's confusing. But I promise you'll love it. And everything pays off.
Now, we're having 2 different perspectives of how we're coming to the end game of this one. You have rewatched a lot of the episodes. Mm-hmm. I've rewatched some.
I'll be honest. I'm going to rewatch the entire series as I'm watching a new season.
Okay, so I am actually doing the opposite of this.
Oh, okay.
I have watched. There are some episodes I've watched twice, literally after they've aired. I've rewatched it to kind of like Battle of the Bastards. I've watched
Wedding from I've
only seen that one time. I've only seen that.
Too hard for you?
Yeah, that one's really hard. There's one the line that comes in after it, and spoiler alert. May the young wolf stay young forever. Breaks my heart because I was team. Spoiler alert, Rob. Hard.
Rob, dude.
I was totally
dick. I hate Rob.
But with that being said, I've only watched generally the entire series one time through. Yeah. So I'm up every episode I've watched with the people. So to me, I don't want to rewatch it. I want to live in the moment like they did in the 90s and the 80s where you had to watch the episode. You have to be part of that moment. And I'm going to rewatch it once the series is done to watch it in one big thing. But I like you're watching it like kind of piece by piece again.
I love it.
See, I kind of like that though because this is one of those shows where I'm going to be refreshed when I rewatch a certain episode. I'm like, damn, I gotta remember to go back to that episode. Like, I think there's a little bit of both being in there.
Realistically, I'll probably finish the series again by the time we're on episode 3 of this new season.
Okay,
because it's gonna take me about another month, 3 weeks to finish.
Yeah.
Because like I've done 2 episodes in a day. They're long. They're great. They're fantastic. Like, so I'll be honest. Like, yeah, I'm gonna. Like I said, I love it. Game of Thrones, we're big fans, and it's just, I don't know, last season was some of the best television I've ever seen, and I've been alive a while.
Well, it's pretty interesting that this is going to be the first show that we were able to do a real series finale, dive deep, look into it that's so monumental, like when Breaking Bad was around, or Sopranos, like those type of leagues, like we were, the show didn't exist, but like now we're going to be part of that pulse.
And we agree on it, too. Like me and, like you and me, like, the reason we do our job is because we kind of take a left and a right, where you do this, I do this. We do separate shows. We meet in the middle. We know the culture. But this is the only show that you and me live text each other and watch. Like, we used to do Walking Dead, then you jumped off. I don't blame you. I think you should jump back on, but I don't blame you. We used to do Flash. I jumped off. I just was over it. This is the one that stayed very consistent.
Yeah.
And because I remember I did Breaking Bad after you, and I would live text you. You're like, oh, dude, wait, it gets better.
And I got
this
you True Detective.
And True Detective. This one's together. This one, I remember True Detective, fun story. When I got back from college that summer, I would lay in your room and I'd be like, this is the greatest show ever. Why did you tell me about this? But this is the first time where it's like, we're like doing episodes. I'll be like, hey, I'm an hour behind. I'll text you in exactly 1 hour, stay awake. Okay, dude. And you're like, dude. Or, hey, don't talk to me. I'll talk to you tomorrow morning and I'll text you. I'm like, okay, you text me because I'm going to text you spoilers. So text me.
Now, we're going to do this. So this is a full spoiler now in case we slip of the tongue. And I am suggesting to you to keep your tone down because in the studio right now there are people who are in different studio rooms that haven't heard it. So,
hater,
what is your favorite episode? With just regard for anybody listening, we might drop a spoiler here or there just because of conversation.
I'll try my best not to.
My favorite episode is Battle of the Bastards.
Yep, mine too.
Okay, the reason why I enjoy the battle, not just the battle, the reason I enjoy that episode is it's one of the rare moments of Game of Thrones where it's not about the baby faces winning. It's one of the rare moments there's a culmination that lives up and makes sense and lives up to that moment. And Game of Thrones here's the thing, because Game of Thrones does have a lot of moments that are payoffs, except they're heartbreaks, but that heartbreak leads to the next story point. This Battle of the Bastards that's over. That is over. There's consequences now, but that story
we're moving forward.
We're moving
forward.
It's
like a good WrestleMania main event where you're like, okay, I can't wait for Monday Night Raw because we're starting a new story, which is this year. And episode 1, I would say, and Battle of the Bastards, and the one right before Battle of the Bastards was very good. Where
the whole season 7 was a great season.
Is honest to God. Next to Breaking Bad season 4.
No, the Viper versus the Mountain might
classic,
be one of the
Red Wedding's classic. It's so good, Mike. It's so good.
So many great ones.
And it's hard to tell people to buy into it because you're like, it's one of those things you have to watch. I can't explain any of it because it's so complicated, but you have to watch. And once you watch and you see Peter Dinklage and everything and Jamie, you're like, I get it. Like, okay, this is why. And for Brittany, the old nurses talk about it. She's like, I have no idea what they're talking about. They love this Snow fella, and I'm like, yeah, he's a dreamboat. I love him too.
So why don't we go ahead and we'll give one bold prediction then. So heading into
I'm
this,
nervous. I don't want to know.
Do you think?
I don't want.
Give me go when I tell you. All right, I'll ask certain questions. This is how we'll do it then.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to give you short answers because I'm nervous.
Jon Snow makes it out.
Alive. You suck, dude. Yes.
I say no.
I know, but I'm sad.
Daenerys is who sits on the throne.
Yes.
Does Cersei make it out?
No, she died. That bitch dead.
Does Peter Dinklage make it out alive?
Yes.
Does the main Unsullied and Daenerys' main lady make it out alive?
Yes.
Do the dragons? How many dragons make it out? One dragon makes it out.
One, the snow dragon and fire dragon kill each other. One's going to make it.
Okay, one makes it out.
One makes it. Has babies. Baby dragons. somehow. I don't know how, but baby dragons.
Yeah.
Mike, I'm sad because I'm like the people that might die, and I don't want anyone to die.
I'll ask this final one.
Oh, you suck, dude.
Do any of the Starks betray each other?
No.
Okay.
I don't think we're going to, because rumors have it that we're going to get a lot of fan service this year. That we're going to get because the difference between, like you said, tone-wise from season 1 to 5 to 6 and 7, was 6 and 7 kind of went away from the books where they were like, Benny S. Weiss were like, not everything has to be like betrayal and sadness. Like we can have cool stuff. We can be creative. So this season, I'm like, yeah, we're going to get sad deaths. Yeah, we're going to get this. But I think we're going to get a decent little ending where you're like, I can live with this. Like kind of like Endgame where you're like, I know Cap's dead or Iron Man's dead, but I'm okay.
Does Jamie kill the Mountain?
Jamie kills the Mountain. Jamie's going to kill his sister too. He has to, dude. Jamie's like Darth Vader. He's getting a redemption.
Yeah,
I love Jamie Lannister too, right?
Lannister, honestly, Jamie Lannister might have the best character arc in that whole series.
Yeah,
like the most complicated.
He's
and that scene,
and
the
that's
end
saying
scene,
a lot.
That the way the end scenes with his hand being cut off, like it's just one of those great moments in Game of Thrones.
Like so harsh sometimes.
Final one: do Khaleesi and Jon have a baby?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think if Jon dies, that's the only thing that's going to keep me happy is that he's no longer a bastard and has a little boy.
What's the final scene of?
I think it's going to be the Khaleesi and the Starks, like the rest of them, kind of living in peace.
And Jon is gone.
And Jon is gone. Like he's got to be the one that dies, right?
Yeah, but he's already been dead.
Maybe he can't die.
I don't know.
Maybe he can't die again. Maybe it's the opposite. Maybe he lives with the child and
Daenerys
is dead. Or maybe it's his sister. Maybe it's Arya and Sansa.
Do you think the brother? What do you think happens to him?
The wizard man. Oh, he's gonna be like a super wizard, dude.
Who do you think is the Night King?
Some guy we really don't know a lot about. Probably only hardcore Game of Thrones fan know. But like, I don't think anything like. I don't think anything of importance. The Night King. I don't think it's anything of crazy importance. I think it's just more like, and they're gonna do a series about that because that's apparently what the prequel series is gonna be. Is how that guy became the Night King. Thousands of years in the past.
How cool is it that they have such an arch enemy that we have nothing about, but he is just
when
so menacing?
When you see him in episode 1, you're like, did they know where this was going? And this would be one of the greatest enemies in history. And you see him in the shadows, you're like, man, I was terrified.
I will admit, in living through it live, I do remember us just wanting to get to the White Walkers.
I don't want an ending.
And now that we're here, and especially last season,
the wall is down.
But they were so brutal. You're like, oh, we waited for this. Like, we should have. We thought that. Here's the one. There was only one misstep in the whole series, and that's Dorne. The Vipers of Dorne was a very big misstep.
Yeah, you can't get everything you want. You know, Wire had the random base.
And we had Pascal for the longest time, and it kind of sucks that his character never played out at the end. Yeah. But I will, after all that being said,
it could pay off.
The way that they've taken us to where we're at now, the trailers have been amazing, and I
they haven't spoiled anything. Yeah. They haven't given you anything, and you know this first episode's about to go down.
So. That's it, good brother. We're here. The next time we are on the air,
we'll probably be crying like grown. You're gonna see grown man cry.
Do we get a major death episode 1?
Yeah, of course you do.
Okay.
There's 8 episodes. You're gonna get a major death every episode, dude. I'm really not emotionally stable at the moment to handle this, Mike.
And
I don't think you understand that.
No, you know what? I will admit this. For a TV show, for a movie, anything like that, the emotion I have going into Endgame and Game of Thrones is almost bittersweet. I'm super excited to do it.
I don't want it to happen.
But I know that I will never get another season premiere of Game of Thrones.
Nope.
I know that whatever happens in episode 1 is permanent for the rest of the lore.
And I'm never going to get another Avengers 22 movie run.
Not like that.
I'm just...
It ends.
Part of me is ending.
Yep. It all comes full
The reason
fruition.
we started this damn show in our pop culture nerds, 2 of those things are about to be done.
The next conversation I want to have at HBO on a episode soon is how are they going to survive next?
It's HBO, man. They got Emmys. They got prequel series coming out.
So great.
They got Watchmen. They got a lot coming. Dude.
But we'll definitely talk about it because the culture impact of Game of Thrones and the gap it was between Sopranos and Game of Thrones.
Disney's coming up
I
high.
don't know if they have the same in today's day and age. the same type of heat that can keep them alive for 3 or 4 years.
Rewatchability, man.
We'll find
That's
out.
big.
We'll find out. But that is it, good brother. Next time we talk, we will be on the clear path to the Iron Throne, and we will have all our reviews talk about the biggest, latest news in the world of pop culture and entertainment. But until then, good brother, enjoy the rest of your week.
No, I'm sad now. You made me upset.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I'm sad. I don't want anyone dying. I want them all to live.
And on that, any last words?
For the North.
For the North. For the good brother himself, Alex Mercado.
Yeah.
I'm the good brother, Mike Mercado. We'll see you on the next episode of The Good Brothers here on the Mercado Airwaves Network.
Thanks for joining us here on The Good Brothers, here on Mercado Airwaves. Enjoy our shows? Follow the Mercado Airwaves crew all over social media. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. On Instagram, Nicole is at Typing When Tipsy, Alex is at Mercado2121, Mike is at Mike Mercado2333, and our true crime show is at Murder Mysteries and More. And on Twitter, Nicole is at Typing When Tipsy, Alex is at Mercado21Alex, and Mike is at Mercado2333. You can follow the network at Mercado Airwaves. Follow our pop culture show on Twitter at Good Brothers Pod. Get us on the go by downloading our programs anywhere you get your favorite podcast, like iTunes, SoundCloud, Podbean, Stitcher, and other popular sites. Just search us at Mercado Airwaves. While you're at it, please like, rate, review, and share us with your friends. Visit us on youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. Click the subscribe and like button to get notified every time a new episode or interview is posted. Support Mercado Airwaves by visiting patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves, the home of our interviews with athletes and celebrities, which you can get ad-free and early before it's released to the public. Come play video games with us on Twitch, twitch.tv/Mercado Airwaves Network. Mercado Airwaves is powered by Munch Art Design. Like them on Facebook at Munch Art Design. Voiceover work on Mercado Airwaves is performed by Josh Fox. Enjoy our shows? Follow the Mercado Airwaves crew all over social media. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. On Instagram, Nicole is at Typing When Tipsy, Alex is at Mercado2121, Mike is at Mike Mercado2333, and our true crime show is at Murder Mysteries and More. And on Twitter, Nicole is at Typing When Tipsy, Alex is at Mercado21Alex, and Mike is at Mercado2333. You can follow the network at Mercado Airwaves. Follow our pop culture show on Twitter at Good Brothers Pod. Get us on the go by downloading our programs anywhere you get your favorite podcast, like iTunes, SoundCloud, Podbean, Stitcher, and other popular sites. Just search us at Mercado Airwaves. While you're at it, please like, rate, review, and share us with your friends. Visit us on youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. Click the subscribe and like button to get notified every time a new episode or interview is posted. Support Mercado Airwaves by visiting patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves, the home of our interviews with athletes and celebrities, which you can get ad-free and early before it's released to the public. Come play video games with us on Twitch, twitch.tv/Mercado Airwaves Network. Mercado Airwaves is powered by Munch Art Design. Like them on Facebook at Munch Art Design. Voiceover work on Mercado Airwaves is performed by Josh Fox.
What's up, friends? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. If you missed any one of our past interviews with amazing guests like future Hall of Famer and pound for pound best fighter in the world, UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson,
It's another day at the office, I get to go out there and test my skill.
to award-winning producer, director, and actor Orlando Jones,
Orlando, how you doing,
How
buddy?
you, sir? I'm good, brother. How you doing?
and all the other interesting guests we've had on. Joining us today is director and writer David Ferrier.
Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you having me on the show.
MMA legend Chael Sonnen joins us today.
Keep listening to your show. This is great. Thanks, my friend.
Just subscribe to us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're there, please like, review, and rate us, friends. It helps so much. We also have a Patreon for anyone who would like to support the show. Just visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves and see how you can get all of our interviews ad-free and before anyone else, and how you can get your business or company spotlighted on the show. Follow us on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And if you would like to see what we're up to behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Thanks for listening and all the support.